Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today we will learn how to create REST API in Node.js. We are going to use a npm package to build REST API in Node.js, and let's start with the npm package. The package name is NodeJs Backpack. NodeJs Backpack. Here we go. So basically this package is used to develop REST APIs, and it will help us to create some models like Mongoose Schema, and the logical part for the REST API like controllers, schemas, and routes and route validation files and so on. So let's start with the package installation on the global level. I'm using this folder for my project, opening it in Visual Studio Code. I am using the best terminal, installing the package on the global level. Let's wait for a few minutes. I think it's almost done. Okay, let's move to the setup part. If we want to create a REST API, we will create a project. If we are going to create a project from scratch or building a REST API from a scratch, then this approach is used basically. So let's create a directory. You can see the directory is created, and we are inside the directories. Now we will run this command, NodeJs Backpack sample files. It will create a sample files for us like basic, env, app, and the package.json. Let me rename it quickly. I think it's done. So the next step is we have to make sure that env have this all environment variables. Let's check. Okay, I think this is missing. Let's edit. Okay, the next command will be to install npm I. This will create the node module folder with the all of the necessary packages listed under the package.json. And after that, once the installation done, we will be able to create our first schema using the command. Let's wait for a few seconds. We can also consider the schemas for the product. Here is an example for the test. I will create a demo for the products. If we are going to create an e-commerce site, we will try to create a REST API for the product. Okay. Mistakenly, I had created the models. Okay, we will create a schema name product. As you can see, it's saying product.js schema has been created under the model.js. Let's check. Seems proper, Mongoose schema, and so on. Let's add few fields like product name, product title, product description, and I think we should add image as well. Image, and make it optional on the DB level. Now we will create the we will run the command to create the REST API. So according to our model, I would like to assign my route name as a product route, and in URL I would like to have PRODUCTS products, and here is my schema PRODUCTS products. Okay, it's saying schema file products does not exist in models/something something. So here we have product and we are trying to write products, so it will also check if it's exist or not, and it will create a whole logic based on the schema. It will create controller, it will create route and validation files and so on. Let's see. Okay, as you can see, it had created a product controller over here, created a validation files, all of the necessary, I think, yes, validation request, product, and all of the validation files are here. Additionally, he had created a post route which we had name over here, product route. So it's here under the route folder, you can see it. And he had also created a route index route where all routes are included. So it had also appended our route inside that index route. So let's check one by one. It's a product route. It's have all the necessary routes over here for the list, detail, store, update, and delete. So let's check in index route. Yes, it's there. It has already imported. And in product routes, it has imported the controller validation files. Okay, let's check one by one. In list, I don't think we need any validation. If you need, you can define over here. Second will be store. In store, it will create validation according to the schema. In model, if you had provided the required, it will create validation for each and every column if it's required. If it's not required, it will not create any validation for it. You can see there is no validation for image, but there is for name, title, and description. So on same for the update, it's not necessary to pass each and every fields from the table. So whatever fields you are passing, that will be only updated, else remaining will be not modified. So the ID is the mandatory part where which record you are going to update, and on other hand same for the destroy, for the delete, and the delete API also ID is important. I think I had explained all of the validations. Let's go to the controller part. You can see it had already created all necessary 5 methods like listing, detail, store, update, and destroy. So let's go to the Postman and test the API. The document itself says how we can define the routes. First of all, some of you guys maybe not have installed the NodeJs. It is generally used for serving project. If you had made any changes inside your app and if you don't want to restart it multiple times, the NodeJs will do the job. So I'm installing it on the global level. Once it's done, I will serve my project. It started, NodeJs has started, it's running the app, and I think let's create collection until that process is done. Creating a new collection. Seems like my system is frozen. Okay, it's doing something. MongoDB. Okay, let's check the env. Okay, you have to update the database credential over here, the username and password. In my case, I will simply go to here, go to copy connection. I will come here and just simply paste the. I can also provide a demo name, like it's not necessary to write Node Backpack. You can write a demo underscore database underscore version 1. I think that's pretty much unique. Now let's again serve our project. And it's working properly. Let's go to the Postman. Yes, it started. Let's rename it to NodeJs APIs REST APIs. Much better. Now, according to the documentation, there are 5 APIs where you can replace the URL and you can access the API, which is already created by the package. So let's create our first API, getList API. I'm going to here and create a new request. I'm going to name it like getList API and copying the URL. It will automatically fetch the parameters inside the params and save it. Okay, this API won't work because there is no API defined as a test. In our case, we had created REST API using a products URL. So we are going to paste it over here, products URL. Let's run it. Now you are able to get the list of the result. Also, let's check on the database level. Yes, demo underscore database version 1 and product, and it have no records. So far we are going good. Let's jump to the another API. It's a get detail API. Before that, I would like to create the store API. Again, create a new request, select the type post, paste the URL. First rename it. URL says this will be, we will go here and copy the URL name, paste, and it says you have to pass a body parameter based on the model schema, like based on the model schema stands for this. If you have mentioned something required, it will automatically validate over your store method, so you have to pass those fields. In case if you are not have practice with the REST API, you will directly you can directly hit the send button and it will automatically say you that these fields are mandatory. So far image will be not considered as a validation because it was mentioned as false by default. You can also create a validation over here. Just simply copy paste and write image and it will be validated over here. I think it's serving. Yes, done. And you can update the message over here. Okay, I think it's now it's served. Done. So for now I'm just removing it. Okay, so we will pass the basic required parameters like name, copy it, go to the body, form data and paste. Same way for the title, same way for the description. Let's pass the product name. I would like to write red, or I can write apple. Title 13 Pro, else in description demo text, and hit the submit button. It has created successfully. and I will write apple 14 Pro. It had created the another one. Let's check the list API. We are able to see Apple with the title 13 Pro, another with the 14 Pro. This is working. Now let's check the pagination. If you don't pass the pagination, it will by default considered as a 10. If you are passing 20, it will provide you record based on the mentioned details. So if I am unchecking this, it will consider per page only 10 records. You can see over here. If you pass only 1, it will show you only 1 record per page. As you can see over here, only 1 record is displayed. But you can also check next page by passing the page number 2, 14, and by mistake if you are going to the another page where no record exists, it won't throw any error. It will just simply provide you an empty array. If you don't pass, it will by default consider page number 1. I think so far we are good. Okay, with this search as well, let me create another mobile. I will create a Samsung and title phone and demo text. Okay, now I will check. We have total 3 records. Page per page contain 10 records. Current page is 1. We don't have next URLs and so on. Let's search for the Samsung. Okay, we have only 1 record. Let's search for the 13. It's providing the 13 Pro. So it will search on all of the field like name, title, description and image. So far we are good with the list and the store API. Now let's create the get detail API. Same way we will create a new API and with the get detail name, copy, creating the and save. If we hit directly, it will throw error because this route is not defined. Okay, let's go here, update the route URL. It's saying that this ID is not exist in the database because it's not a valid one. Let's go to the list and fetch records and just paste it over here and send. Now it's fetching the proper record. If you by chance if you provide a wrong ID like 21, it will say that doesn't exist on the database. And if you provide ID in an improper way, it will also tell you that it's not a proper object ID to fetch a record from the product table, because it's have underscore ID and they follow this structure object ID. So it have pretty much good validation over here. Now let's jump to the update API. In same way like detail, we will duplicate it. Let me save it first. Okay, make it put. I think that will work. Let me check the API, copy it, paste, copy, rename the API, update API, paste. If I am not passing any data, it will not going to update any record. If I want to update the name, I will only pass this. For example, I will make Apple small and put VHO and a phone. Let's see. It's updated over here, and let's also confirm on the get API. Yes, it's also working here. And to confirm, let's cross check on the get detail API as well. It's working proper. So now our next goal will be to create the delete API. Here we go. We will duplicate the detail API, delete. We will simply select the delete type, which is mentioned over here. You can also take reference of this. It's a API name, it's a method which is going to be used. This is the URL and few instruction. In same way, for the store, it has already mentioned that based on the model schema which you had kept as a required field. Okay, so let's test the delete API. It has deleted this record. We can also confirm by hitting the API. Yes, it's not able to find this ID. Also, there are 3 records. Now there must be only 2 records. Let's check. Okay, this is working fine. So far our REST APIs are ready with the command. So you can get idea how easy it is to create a REST API. Let's look on the controller part. For the list, it will define a default value for like page number 1, limit 10 and such blank. And based on the schema, it will create a like query or a regex where it will check this column if that value matches or not, and so on. It will pass that data into the query. After find, this is skipping based on the input if you are willing to go to the next page, so on. This code will create a pagination link which you can see over here in Postman collection at the end after the result part, like first, previous link, and this is helpful when you are working with the front-end technologies, and in case if mobile developer can also utilize it on their end. There is another feature over here, like we can go over here. Let's check for the valid API. Going to the get details, paste, data is fetch. Mongoose by default give these values, but I have practiced to write queries with the or display data with the ID. In some case, if I have to create combined, or I have to want appended data like name and title merge, so I will simply go over here and I will write whatever name or whatever parameter I want, name, title, or whatever 1 2 3 you as per your requirement. You can just simply write this and copy, paste, copy, paste, and now it's okay. I think it's compiling right now. Done. Run. Now you will be able to get name, title, and it's a combination of this and this. Apple 14 Pro, Apple 14 Pro. You can add extra space as per your need if it's necessary. Now I think it will be work proper. Here we go. It won't only affect on the detail API. It will so effect on overall REST APIs. Like I can go over here and hit API. Or I can get over here and here and so on in the update as well. In some case, if we don't have these fields like image or something else, it will break. So I would prefer to use this. If this exists, then else null. Same way. And here For example, if you don't have image, then don't throw error. Just simply consider this empty. Let's check. It will provide only space 14 Pro. This is space 14 Pro. So this is overall overview on the Backpack, NodeJs Backpack, and this is how you can create a REST API by ease. And there will be another video for the authentication API. You have to just hit a single command and it will create a login, registration, forgot, reset, logout, and get profile. And you will also receive a reset token on the forgot password API. It will trigger a mail. It will create all of the necessary things you can see over here. I will cover it on the next video and explain in detail.